Erev Shabbos, everyone. Malki's not there tonight.
Malki is.
No.
Recording in progress.
So the Malki's right here. Oh, so cool.
It's interesting with the Menorah. That's in three different places, really. You have it in Parshas Tzaveh, then you have it in Emer, and you have it in BeHaalosicha. The real place that it belongs is in Emer. Why was it over there in Tzaveh? Because that's smoking where the Mikdash is talking about. Why we explain a little bit different over there, but that doesn't make a difference. And here he has again the suffix. Why is he mentioning it again? And this is, he goes into Rashi this to explain that that Aaron was upset. In other words, I guess that he was supposed to be the Tumech v'Rechel Ish Chasitecha. He's the guy that's supposed to be Melamed Torah Am Yisrael. And in the end, he's the Ikel lesson. No, that's my story. And he's not. No, I'm sorry. I was giving you an answer. The answer already to the kasha. That's not what I meant. Okay. It's the Rashi says that what upset him because he wasn't involved, not in the matone of the 6 wagons and the 12 oxen. And also not him and his shavit, that they're saying, and the other one he wasn't the beginning Kobanis. So I said I don't understand that kasha. If that's what Rashi means, if that's what Rashi means, the reason that the whole Parshas is brought down, Rashi brings down over there that in by Chamishi, that they brought the oxen and the what do you call it? So it says over there, what's the lotion? Okay. Vahi bayim kalos meish lokim samishka v'yishim lois v'gai yishaisai. So right, vayikruvu nesiyei Yisrael, and he says they got their yud back. That's the main thing. What did they do to get their yud back? So before we said they were not in the divrei leiv, in the sense what the Torah wants in the divrei leiv. What's in the divrei leiv? And the divrei leiv is somebody that's involved in the project from the beginning until like the end, to see the project through. And they were willing to give, even though it's a much bigger batone. And I said every executive director would probably love him because they're going to give me a blank check, and therefore, at the end, if there's any money missing, you just fill out this check. Everybody would love that, right? I think that the Beniman is trying to do, we don't want any executive directors. That's the emes. What do we want? We want the people to feel responsible and give the needs of the yeshiva every single day. The Torah is we need an executive director because we don't do it that way. So therefore there's periods of time that there's no money, and there's periods of time there's an excess of money. So we need somebody to take care of it, to make sure that the money will be around when we need it and that we always have expenses. That's what we need it. But B'Emerson, the better would be if we didn't have one, because the people dealt directly with Betzalel. What do you need, Betzalel? This? Okay, here it is. No problem. And then you'd have no problem in the thing, though. You save yourself money too. Okay, so all of us. I'm saying so. That's the point. So the difference in the kashas on Rashi is how do you know that he needed it? Aaron, they didn't. They gave it. They landed up not having a chelik in the Mishkan because they did it this way. They had the machzah shekel in the adonim that they had because that was everybody had to give that. So they have that. But past that, They didn't have anything else in the Mishkan. But in the Big Day Kahuna, they had a tremendous amount, right? But the Mishkan had nothing. So they made us think, how do we get our Yud back? So the thing is that we need something in the Mishkan itself. Mishkan represents Torah, Avodah, everything, the relationship between us and God. Now, so we built it. How do you get it from one place to the other place? Can't move. Now you'll tell me, of course you can move. Because you have so many Levium, so you have 100 Levium will carry every beam. What'll be his problem then? I don't know if there's enough, but there's plenty of Levium. So there's thousands of Levium, so you'll have them doing it, 2,000, 3,000, whatever it is there. So you should have enough to do that way. Elavos, it's probably lumbersome, it's very slow, it's hard, whatever it is there, so he didn't give it. They didn't make it this. We got the wagons. It's okay, that's one way of learning Pshat. Or Pshat is that we haven't got. How's it supposed to get there? The bench will make it fly every time. I don't know how bench will even get there. So they said, the Nesiim said, we make our commitment to the thing. Taka didn't participate in the binyan Mishkan, but we're going to make sure that the Mishkan will be wherever it has to go. So therefore, we guarantee Torah wherever it's going to be. And that's the point. Okay. So that's what Benishim does. So the Torah goes, so they guaranteed everything, which is, okay, no, still not finished with that. That's one thing. So he participated in the Mishkan, Aharon, so he gave. So what's the problem? That's why they didn't include him in there. He didn't need any tshuva. The second Maisa say, where he went to Korbanos, so I don't think it's fair. Now they have, every Nosi that brings a korban has to share it with Aharon. They bring the money, and who does the avodah? Aharon. And what do you want? You want to get to give the money and do the avodah. That's like a little bit unfair. So why? So therefore he doesn't participate. He doesn't bring his own stuff. So I don't see what the kasha was, right? So I'm saying, but the kasha is this way: that you told me I'm to be the teacher of Klal Yisrael, and by being the teacher of Klal Yisrael, it's my job to make sure that the kids understand that the Torah is the Yikah. That there's no other ways. I'm not talking about teaching Torah, but the hashkafa, the Torah in life, that's the Yikah, right? And the parents just did that. The Nesiim just did that. So what are you leaving for me? That was his kasha. So the Benishim said, no, that's not what I meant for you. The hashkafas come from the house. But the Maisa, what do? You're going to do the nitty-gritty of teaching. That's what I'm going to say, Nochamol. Try a parent, try that. The kid will run away and he says, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to. But if it comes from a Rebbe, that's his job. So it doesn't bother the kid that the Rebbe made him do it over again. Because he does it to everybody. He does it to anything. I'm not being treated differently. But my father tells it to me. That's bad. Nobody wants to learn. So that's what he told him. The hashkafas will come from the family. Now you see this in the Maisa. Regular Shiva, that's the way it is. The main hashkafas are the parents and the what he called and the learning, the methods of learning are from the yeshiva. In a day school, the hashkafas are also from the parents, from the yeshiva man. So therefore, the amount of learning is much less. And that's what the problem is. If you have to teach the hashkafas and the learning, so then automatically you're not going to learn as much. It's supposed to be built in already from the parents in the house, your hashkafas. Then it's just a question of developing your own learning style and all these things, so that they can spend time on. Okay, I think we spoke about in Parshas by Midbar about why we did we do we didn't do did we do Parshas by Midbar? Right? We didn't do Shas. We did, so we spoke about that. Okay. Okay, then it starts to tell you they made the Korban Pesach, and we learned out why Pesach Sheni is so important. Why is Pesach Taka Sheni? It's the only, you have Tashlumim, you have for regular Korbanos, of course, you have to have enough time to bring them. So normally the 7 days of Yontif is enough. Shavuos don't have 7 days and don't have no chalameid. So when are you going to bring the korbanos? So you have tashlum after Yontif. But past that, there's as far as bringing a korban that you couldn't bring, there's no such thing. If I wasn't Yerushalayim doing Yontif, so it's gone. Forget about it. You can't make it up. That's it. The Korban Pesach we can. So it could be because the Korban Pesach is called Korban Hashem. It's the only Korban that's called Korban Hashem. And why is it called Korban Hashem? Because that's really the Messiah of that there's a Messiah, that there's the Chinuch, that there's something that the parent has to do, has an obligation to the kid to teach him and whatever it is. That's his job. And therefore we should all be part of that. We can't forget of it. So the kasha was with tummy, what's going to be? Now, if I think it could be possible that you can be tummy twice, tummy the first time, and can become tummy the second time. I mean, it's possible guy's going to miss it. No question about it. But the idea is it like it's, that would be a heichatimtza of a specific person. Why the Benishim made it that way to me and that you'll ask questions again. But you're knocking out a whole group of people that doesn't, just because they're a group, Tomei, that makes sense. So therefore they asked, what do we do? And they want to do anything, just to be part of the korban. In other words, of course, it's not a point of eating it. That's not the important part. The important part is being part of the korban, being part of this whole process. And that was the thing that they were complaining about. And he gave him a thing, next month you have it. And like he says, really, the din would have been, even if they didn't complain, it would have been. But they bothered him so much, so the Torah gave it through them. No, because the Ramaisa that happened. If it wouldn't have happened, they would still have to tell me there's a Tashlumim. And this is by Bnei Slavchot, yeah, but a few places that there's such a thing. That really, it would have been known anyway, but the reason that story happened is to give them schar, like they should know about it. The world should know that they really want to do it.
It doesn't even say their names. It doesn't even say their names.
Yeah, it doesn't say their names, but that's the difference. But still, whoever these guys are, they were big guys. Now they give you some fun, you go figure out who they are. Now don't fit so much, whatever they figure out don't seem to work, so don't make a difference. Okay. And the chorus part is mentioned here, even though it probably would be the same thing over there if he was in the Azor and didn't bring the korban, the B'chayv chorus. The thing over here. But the idea is that here we gave you the second chance, you don't even want to be part of that, that's the time. Okay. Then it tells you that the Alpi Hashem Yachna, Alpi Hashem Yisol, depending how long it was on there, the other thing there. But it chazed over several times, 3 times at least, that it chazes over Alpi Hashem Yachna, Alpi Hashem Yisol. What is the purpose, I would say, that they keep chazing over this thing? I mean, one would be enough to tell me the thing. No. I think says we'll see in a second. All right. Okay, so that's the first thing. Okay. Then he says, make 2 chatzetzos. That means l'cha. You make it for yourself. I say l'cha, Moshe paid for this. You know, this is not from the tzibur. This is his money. I say l'cha 2 chatzetzos of kesef, what he called to call the Eder, whatever it is there. And what do we do bisman hazeh? You know, I guess the Israelis, that they blow shofar by war or by the things that they did by the Kaisel during the 67, and secondly when they took the Kaisel, stuff like that, Gordon was there to blow shofar. So I'm saying that's like, I guess, when you're fighting with your enemies, you know. But basically, there's a lot of avodah with the chatzetzos. The Mishnah says something different. You used to have the chatzetzos, one was the chatzetzos was the middle one, and the key shofar was the thing there. So when the mitzvah is b'shofar, so the shofar blew longer. When the mitzvah is with chatzetzos, the chatzetzos blew, but the shofar and the chatzetzos are always together. So therefore, I guess they don't have chatzetzos, they use shofar. I guess, what else are you going to do? Anything there? Well, then by the war, I don't know if they're doing anything there tonight.
Sometimes they blow chatzetzos by the Kaisel.
They do?
I saw it.
Yeah? I can't tell you that. So I guess they go to the museum, the guys who made all the kalim there, they borrow them a couple of chatzetzos. Okay, we're blowing the chatzetzos. Good.
What is it, Indian to blow shofar?
Huh?
What, there is an Indian to blow shofar now by the Kaisel?
They did it. I'm saying, when during the war, they did it.
Is it Indian?
I don't know if it's an Indian. Goran did it. You know how Goran is an Indian? So it's an Indian. But he really knows stuff. So it's you know. What I can tell you. You screwed up, that's it. It's in the time. But when he parachuted down to Har Sinai, or what they thought was Har Sinai, it was the St. Catherine's mountain over there, he was the big hero in Yeshiva. What are you talking about? I was in Lakewood then, that was the thing. They took the Sinai Peninsula in 54. So he parachuted down, and with a Sefer Torah. Okay, then it goes through all the people who were involved, you know, with the Masois. Okay, it goes through the Masois. And they went perfect, told you how they took it down, when they took it down, all these things fine. And then he comes to 3 Averos. And it says the 3 Averos is Ketine Kabarech Beis HaSefer, Kavera, and Kivras HaTaiva. And since it would be a terrible, terrible thing to say that the Yidden did 3 Averos in a row, they took Vayibin Ahren from wherever it should have been, I don't know where it should have been, and anyway, he stuck it in over here, and it was mafsik between the 3. So what about that? I don't have a good tell for this, but I think we're going to say, okay, we'll say in a minute. Okay. Now, the Vayibin Ahren is supposed to be a Sefer Torah by itself, so there's really 7 Sefer Torahs, 7 Chumash, not 5. Why? You have Bereishis Shmos Vayikra, Bamidbar till there, that's 4. Then you have Vayim Sarah is 5, Bamidbar after is 6, and then the Devarim is 7. You have really 7 Chumash. Okay. And the thing over there is a Sefer Chumash of 2 psukim. whatever that means. Okay, I guess maybe the klal of this is so important. What is the klal? That you need 22,000 Jews to be for the Shekhinah to be Shrekah. Shimon, and the second counting makes 22,200. They only made it by 200, this number. But it's a number that they just made, that's the point, but they made it. Okay. So now the question is, where does he bring the pasuk? He brings the pasuk of Vayim Soya after they were Beberech Beis HaSefer. If you wanted to talk about like evening it out or something like that, you don't want so much bad at one side, you should have made it between Tavera and Kivas HaTaiva. You know, it doesn't seem like such a big Avera. You know, like, so what did he do? So I think maybe we got to look at it the other way, that the Benishim is trying to tell us that the worst Avera here is Getinek HaBarech Beis HaSefer. That the idea is, you don't want the obligation. What do kids want from school? Right? Free, yay, we can chill out. That's the biggest Avera, is the chilling out. That always kills me, those words, chilling out. And so what do you want? Do you want to have chaos? What do you want with chill out? What are you trying to say? You know? You don't want to have chayas, that's what you're trying to say. So that's treif. You know, you want to be lax, I hear. You want to do it, but who said, well, I don't want to have chayas? And I said to myself, it's interesting. I myself, whatever, I'm not going into the story of why you didn't, but I happen to have been done for part of time, for a couple of years I didn't wear tefillin chalamed. And for most of my life, except for those couple of years, I did. But it happened to be when I was a bacha, maybe into beginning of marriage, maybe. Okay. What did I feel the difference between if you wear tefillin chalamed or you don't wear tefillin chalamed? That if you don't wear tefillin chalamed, you're hefker. There's no responsibility on you at all. I can go on this trip, we're going skiing, we're going this, we're going that. What about davening? What's the difference? Let's go. Well, you think they will drive, we won't drive. I have to put on tefillin. I know I've got to have in my hand, I'm carrying my tefillin. I didn't get rid of that. There's no way I can dump that. That goes with me. Okay, so you always carry the tefillin, so you know exactly what you have to do. That's the thing. It's about kept that line on you, that you feel that I'm still never Hashem. So if I'm not free, okay. So that's this thing of running from the Beis HaSefer, that's the bad thing. Okay, then what is the Mesayim Ra? That's Tavera. So Rashi says, Vayishma Hashem vayicharapa vaytiva bam eish b'ktzei hamachne. Vatecha b'ktzei hamachne. So Rashi says, you touch up b'ktzei hamachne two ways. The least or the most. In other words, the best or the least. So it means the end. So whatever the end is, anything there. So this is the Rashivas Avot. So the shaila is, what do you mean? What did the good guys do bad? So one person say learn that goes on the end of Yisrael. It says Vayechlu Vayishtu. They really didn't eat. It says yeah. Yeah, it's Mishpatim. Okay. והצילי בני ישראל לשולח יודי ויחסו לסולקים ויאכלו וישתו. So either ויחסו לסולקים means that they saw the Shekhinah and they were able to actually eat and drink, so then meaning is this so buddy, the Shekhinah is right here and you're sitting, not in awe, so the Tainanya. Or the pshat is that it's whatever Vayechel Kim, it's Ilu Vayechel Vayishtu means also, in other words, it wasn't just plus he was Ema B'yira. Vayechel Vayishtu, you're taking the physical, which is more relaxed, more thing there, and that's how you feel that. So there's something wrong with being too relaxed with God. What does it lead to? So she said it leads to this problem. What do you have? And they just gave us a big Torah, right? And mizetzachavek learning. And midafharavet. It's not simple. All of a sudden you hear the chatzitzos blowing. We're moving, right? Okay, moving. Starts one night. Moving again. We're lost in it learning. What kind of business is this? They gave us this big mission, this big Torah, and they don't let us learn. Okay. So that means you're criticizing God, how he runs his world. You don't like the way he runs it. So you're not entitled to that. That's the part that you have to remember. But it's around, vergesst man sich. That you think we're doing mitzvahs, so therefore we have an objection, we must learn. Now, that really teaches us, I don't think the person means it for kfirah. I think what happens is you, right now you're trying to learn and you're lost in it, right? So you're reacting. Can you just say things because you're reacting that way? Or they hold me accountable for it? So you have by my Savelos a very interesting thing. When you go to be Menachem over somebody, and the guy is telling you the tzoros, the yes and the other, what happened? Got sick. I called the doctor, and I did this, and I did that, and it didn't help, and this and that. What do you say? Usually you say in the middle there, well, what can you do? Right? What can you do? The Bensha didn't want, that's what you mean. Bensha didn't want, so what can you do? So in Shulchan Aruch, in the Nesi Kalim, it says this specific thing. If you say that, that's kfirah. Because the guy says, what can you do means if I was able to do, I would do. You don't really mean that, really, but that's what you're saying. Right? What can you do? But if I was able to do, I would do. That's not true. So therefore, if God wants a guy dead, you're not fighting him. There's a point over there. So that's the same thing. You sometimes say the Lashon, I don't mean I'm not trying to oppose God, but I'm trying to learn. You're not letting me learn, so I react to it a certain way. Okay. And for that, they lost people, but it's only that posik. Then it came into Kivas HaTaiva. Kivas HaTaiva means they were really not interested in eating meat. They were interested in their arayas. I assume they can't complain about their arayas in reaction because you guys said Nasa v'nishma, didn't you? You're going to listen to everything I tell you. So what are you complaining about? Telling your eyes. Okay. So they hear it, right? They don't like it, but they hear it. They hear it. But the nature of people is that if a person is unhappy, they have to complain about something. So they try to make something, they got to find something to complain about. Not that it really bothered them, but the meat. Okay, you didn't supply the meat, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. No, it's a complaint, so therefore we're justified in having a tain on God. That's the point of it.
But they were in Mitzrayim. In Mitzrayim already, the Shibah says that in Mitzrayim they either were Nizar and Arais.
Yeah.
So it wasn't because of Torah.
Exactly what it is. It's a good question, but obviously they still had Arais in there because Moshe Rabbeinu was a mamzer, a real mamzer, except he didn't keep the Torah. That's the only difference. But obviously, according to the Torah, he's a mamzer. And Aahron is a mamzer. All our kahunas, all our kohanim are mamzerim. I have to tell you that kohen over there, right? But that's what it comes out to. All the kohanim are mamzerim. All the other guys we don't have. All the guys from Yosef are mamzerim, Beniman are mamzerim. What do you call? They were mamzerim, but the Leah's kids are okay. The Leah's kids are okay. Whatever you want to shout it. Whatever they did, so they did it. Bishas they weren't out to Yisrael yet. Whatever Yaakov Avinu, they married two sisters. He wasn't there to Yisrael yet. He was still in by Lavan. Technically, that's why she's dying when they come to Eretz Yisrael. Whatever it is, they put but they didn't keep the Torah chutzot. Whatever it is, there. And a lot of people probably didn't keep it at all. But they made their complaint. Okay. And they made the complaint about the man, right? All the things the man didn't taste like. And so it's just interesting. It's not the thing itself that killed, that harms the pregnant lady. It's what it smells like, what it tastes like, seems to have the effect. That is like and what a woman will usually want. It wants a pickle in the middle of the night, whatever it is, something, a crazy taste all of a sudden. I need that taste. Why? Okay. But anyway, but they complain about the month, and they complain about the month. Okay, whatever it is, that it's all the same. It's not lachem hakloikel here. It's just that all we get is the month. Okay. Okay, it tells you how it happened, and the Yishma Moshe saw that they crying for the Arayas. Okay. Then he asks, which is interesting, that I need help. I can't do this myself anymore. But he uses a very funny lotion, right? Anoichi horise es kolom hazeh, anoichi yolatiu. Did I was pregnant? Did I give birth to these people? Ki soim alayla shesei soir b'cherkecha kashi yisoim esanyeni, right? So I'm part of this. But mashma, if you're the father and the mother, that's your obligation. Right? So we don't have anything there, who needs my kids and stuff, and that's your obligation. The thing goes there. Okay, so Benjamin said, okay, I'm going to give you 70 guys, and we're gonna do this and they're gonna split the some of you covered, but they don't take away from you. It's like a match, he says. Like a match, you get a fire, a complete fire in the next thing, but you don't make the first fire smaller. Okay. Then he tells them, okay, now I want you to go promise them something. I want you to go promise them that they're going to have meat for 30 days. Right? Okay. And he says it's not just 30 days, it's going to come it's going to come out of you. You're going to be sick and tired of it. That's what it means to see. Okay. 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 So Moshe now says something. There's a machlekes Reb Shimon, not Reb Shimon, Rabbi Akiva and Reb Shimon. Yeah, Akiva and Reb Shimon. Akiva holds it's kfira, and Reb Shimon holds it's not kfira. What do they say? He says, "Vayem Moshe sheishmi yisel lefragli." Oh, Moshe b'yirech b'kiba, you got 600,000, and you're telling me I'm going to tell them to come and give you food for a month, all right? And if I have enough, or if we shecht all the boker and the sign, will you mutter them? Will it be enough? Now, does he mean all the sheep in the world? He means the sheep they have in Mitzrayim, or they have in the Midbar. So it means the sheep they have in the Midbar, which is possible. It may not be enough for 600,000 people. Once you sit down to eat it for 30 days, the thing over there. Now he says a second thing, which is a stupid statement. So I'm putting in the word stupid, which is instead of kfira. Im is called the gay hayom, yes, if I be gather all the fish in the sea, would it be enough? That means so fish by him is echad meat. Right? So maybe for the bris we can always say, well, we have in bris, we don't need flesh, because fish is also meat. Okay, good. And that's why we have rocks. Okay. Whatever it is there. But is this really a statement? How many people we got in the world now? You got 8 billion people. You don't think there's 600,000 of them are eating meat, eating fish 3 times a day? It's crazy. And isn't that the Lashon of Bnei Adam? There's plenty of fish in the sea. Always you need more, there's always plenty more. Right? How do you know there's plenty more? Maybe it's empty. Right? Nah, the fish is full of sea. And it was closer to the marble in Moshe's time where the fish didn't die. So the proportion of fish to people was much bigger then than it is now. So how come over there he's making such a statement? Right? Doesn't know the simple theist of the world. It can't be such a thing. Right? So the time that Moshe Rabbeinu was saying to Rabbeinu Shalom, they don't mean it. So what are you going to promise them? What am I going to give them? They don't mean it. Whatever we give them is not going to be good enough. As he said, you can give them all the fish. They'll say, I want the right eye of the left-eyed fish. Left eye, the left eye, whatever it is. It's just something that doesn't exist. The thing over there. Okay. So that the Rebbeinu said, Hayad Hashem tiktzor. You think God can't do this? I can't handle the situation. You mean they think they got me in a corner? That's what you think, Moshe Rabbeinu? What kind of knowledge God is that? Hayad Hashem tiktzor. Okay. So that's what he's telling him. Okay. We'll take care of that now. Okay. So what's beyond that? Hayad Hashem tiktzor. According to Parshas B'Shalach, what did they eat every day? They ate mon, and they also ate meat. They ate slov every day. You can say it went only one day over there, but most of them were not like that. But they ate it, right? B'boker teichel lechem, b'erev teichel basar. So you're going to have that. So they had that slov. What did the Rebbeinu Shem do over here to give him the meat for 30 days? He brought in slov. Right? Now, let's understand that. First of all, you're eating chicken every day. That's what slov. It's a bird. I don't know if it's chicken, it tastes like chicken, or it's a different kind of chicken, but it's chicken, right? I eat chicken every single day. Oif, that's what they call it. No, it's a soil. Oif. You want oif? I'll give you oif. Okay. So you're eating oif. So you're sick and tired of it. Right? So why all of a sudden you go nuts? And all I gave you was the slov. And you went out to catch them. And not only that, you went out to get them. So therefore you kept pulling him down, I must have. What are you, crazy? And Levos, I control your appetite. So what did the Benishim do? He made them hungry for slov. Now why would I be hungry for slov? Zakasha, but the Benishim can make anything he wants. So he can give me the appetite for slov. I want slov. So he did this, he went crazy. Okay. So, okay, so that was the thing. So that was our Yad Hashem Tiksa. I want to show you how it's in my hands. I'm doing an impossible thing. I'm making them want something that is crazy to want. And then okay, that's what he did. Then he has the Maisa, the 70 guys. How are they going to get 70 guys from Klal Yisrael? So that means each Shevet, Rashi brings down, nominated 6 guys, and they came to the thing which comes out to a total of 72. So, and then there's 2 guys left. You only want 70, so there's 2 guys left. Those 2 guys, they threw a girl, who should be the 2 guys that go away? So they put, Rashi says, they left, everything was blank, and 2, they put, God don't want you. Okay? That's pretty strong words, right? So how did you learn what Eldad made it? They were Baksufim. They should have been there, but they didn't go. So how did the other 2 guys go? They got a paper that said, God don't want you. So how did they go? Right? So I'm saying they never threw a girl. The only reason you need a girl is because we got 72 guys. What happened if 2 guys resign and they said, look, we're not in competition, so then whatever's left, the 70 that are left, they're royal because you don't have any more. You pick 72 and 2 resign, so there's 70. So these 70 are all royal. There's no such thing as that we don't want them. So now all 72 are Nevi'im. You got the 70 because they're on the Sanhedrin, and Elder Demeda that should have been. Now, according to most people, Elder Demeda are brothers. We talk about the Kashashif, if Yocheved gave birth to them, they're Moshe's brothers, they're not Moshe's brothers. All those, but Agadat is very sure Agadat. I'm not getting involved in that. But Lamaisa, let's take the Fashid out of the brothers. That means that there's one Shevet that had 5. And that's crazy. Every Shevet had 6. I mean, they had only 4. I mean, it doesn't mean. Elder Neda, they only had 4. Why would any Shevet agree to that? The Shevet wouldn't let it. You know, stuff like that. So therefore, Elder Neda can't be brothers. They come for 2 different short in the stomach. That's the way I think. So 6 and 5. Okay. And what were they being misnabe? They were misnabe over there that Moshe is going to die and Yeshua is going to take him into Eretz Yisrael. And what's the point? That's a good question. I don't know. I guess in a way, that Moshe is not relative to the story. Well, we'd love to have Moshe with us, there's no question about it, but nobody's irreplaceable, or we don't need anyone. And we see this really before. Reuven Shalom sent Moshe down to be the shliach to take out the Yidden from Mitzrayim, right? Starts in Shmois. All of a sudden, he has a kid, right? And he has to mal him. And somehow he screwed up where he's supposed to mal him. And what exactly the chesron is, we have to figure it out. But somehow he was Isaac too long in his trip, not in the I guess it means he should have, as soon as they got the malone, he should have made the meal in the lobby without first checking into your room. Okay, good. I can't answer what the title was. But you need me. No, don't. The bench doesn't need anybody. So first of all, you can give a keach to somebody, just like by Gidden and stuff like that. You can give him a keach that he can do the job. And say after that, also, who says I need anybody? I'll do it myself. I'll take you out myself. There's a difference. I didn't need you over there. So he's doing it again to tell you that this thing, that nobody's irreplaceable. So that's why we know it now, and it's going to come a time when I'm not going to be there, but we're still in the midbar, we're still the thing, we're going to Israel, and whatever leadership the Beis can provide, there's going to be good leadership. You're going to be able to get in there. Okay. And one of the answers, it says that Elohim and what do you mean by putting in jail or claim? Means give them jobs to work for Klal Yisrael. It's like Gamliel says, when he brought him the two Talmidim there to help over this, so they didn't want to take the job. She says, I'm giving you, what do you call it, not Mishoris, I'm giving you avdus. You think you're a boss, you're working for the people. So don't, very good. Don't get it into your head that, you think that you have a job to do here. Okay. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, better, what difference does it make? You call out Shem Hashem Nevi'im, that's the best thing. Okay. He got the stuff, and the Benshim killed a lot of people. And Makir Rabba Ma'oid. Now, I was always trying to figure out what fits into Makir, what's Rabba, what's Ma'oid. I don't know how many people died here. I don't know. The only place we know exactly how many people died is in two places, really. Is you know it by Kerach, and you know it by Balpur. Balpur, you lost 200,000, and then 24,000 plus. There's 200. No, we're with the 24,000. It's 200,000. It was the 176,000 Machos and Besdin killed, and 24,000 that lied in the Magefa. So it's 200,000, and then you had by what's his name, 14,700 died in the Magefa, and 300 were the guys that fell into Gehenna with Dosan Ravina. So there was only 300 people, so not so bad. So there you had yourself 15,000. But past that, what's Rabba Ma'oid? But it means a lot of people, what can I tell you? Okay. Then it got the point. Yeah, Miriam and Aaron talked Lashon Hara about Moshe Rabbeinu. Yes, well, to talk about Miriam loved him, and he still talked about him. What's the Lashon Hara? What's the big thing there? So the Chofetz Chaim already covers this. You have, which is, unfortunately, people are ava on this. You have, let's say, the 8th grade Rebbe, yes, the 7th grade Rebbe, give me a heads up on the kids. You're coming into the class, good kids, bad kids. Right? And he gives it to them. That's what we're talking about. It wasn't Pshat, he's just telling him a story. Moshe just separated himself from what's her name and this, and he holds himself a big shot. That's what it was. She went over to Alan and said, somebody's got to talk to Moshe. Moshe is acting a little bit uppity. Somebody's got to tell him that they're not doing the right thing, me or you. I'm the big sister, you're the big brother. Who's going to do this? Okay? That's what happens. So what are you supposed to do? Isn't that a thing? Say, tell us what you're supposed to do. That's the point. But first of all, should you even ask for this? I can say maybe you do. Because I want to know where you got it. But we all know in class in the 3rd grade, they had a bad Rebbe relationship was bad. In the 4th grade, the kid blew it, blossomed like whatever it is, in a good relationship. So how can you tell me that it's totally on it's called Loshen or whatever it is there? What am I telling you? Why am I even asking you for? What the Rebbe should first answer and say, listen, I didn't get along with the kid, right? I can't say it's his fault. I can't say it's my fault. But I didn't get along with him. So I can't, but that's all. The other kids I got along with, so that was no problem. Okay. So that's one way I can talk. So that means the kid, he knows at least that all he knows is not the kid's fault. But what the Chofetz Chaim says you have to do, is he says you have to do and ask the kid, I heard this and this about you. What do you say? It's not true. Not true. Okay. Then you got to believe it. I don't believe it, or at least I got a suffix. I don't know if it's true or not. And the kid says, yeah, well, I did this, but okay, good. So you solve it, but I can't just accept it as a fact. It's the same thing on every principle. Forget about it. The principal brings the kid usually. Either the kid gets a note to bring to the principal what exactly you're being sent to the principal for, and then you get punished for that. I didn't even do it. What are you doing there? So there was someone here, and they're not in the room at the moment, but that he had this Rabbi Elias. The Rabbi got kicked him out of the class. He was in the 1st grade. What was nice in 1st grade? They had pictures of Gedolim on the wall. And he told them, and the Rebbe said, even though you got these pictures of the Gedolim on the wall, but you guys will never become as big as them. So this kid, when he was a kid, now he's a Zayda, but when he was a kid, he asked, if we can't reach them, why are you putting them on a wall for? What's the point? We can't get to be that big. She kicked him out. So he went to the principal, and the principal asked him, what happened? And he told him the Maisa. So he took him back into the room and gave a ganze droshe on how you can steig, and that everyone can steig to be the biggest people, and this and that. So in other words, and the Rebbe is standing shaking his head the whole time. Wonderful, wonderful. I think whatever it is. Okay. So obviously what they say don't mean too much. Anyway, so the Ben Shalom, okay, so now the point before, as the story starts, why did they say Loshen Hara about him? Because they didn't know who he was. It says, what it says, what's it? Moshe diber gam bonu diber Hashem, v'ish Moshe onav ma'od mikol ha'adam asher al pnei ha'adama. He was the biggest onav. So what does it mean he's the biggest onav? So what? What's it got to do with our story here? I never told you because it's not negeya for you to know. Arai, it's not negeya to know. I wanted to put down Vayokor and not Vayikra. Why did I want to do Vayokor? Because it's not a point of the qualities of Nevuah. The Rambam says there's 10 madregas in Nevuah. It doesn't make a difference what madrega it is. They're all Dvar Hashem. But depends if it's Torah or not. That's what it depends on. So the bench could be even Vayokor and it's still Torah. Like Bilam, whatever that means. Okay, that's what the Chaim says. Okay, but whatever that means, I don't know what it means. That's Torah. It doesn't know halacha. The only halacha is Torah Moshe. But okay, but anyway, but that was Moshe was trying to say. So if you never told them, and you have a din, if you don't need to know Masechta, right? The Talmud Chochem is b'mishane b'Masechta, right? So therefore, if they say, you know the Masechta, I don't know. You know, not really. Whatever you're going to say, though, you have a kvetch, however you're going to kvetch. Right? When do you have to say, I know it? If Pshat is, I have a shayla in Shabbos. Anybody know Shabbos? You can ask me. Because you have it's l'magir ma'isa. However, if it's not l'magir ma'isa, I'm not supposed to tell you. I'm not allowed to brag. So there was no reason for him to brag. So they didn't know. So as far as the point they're concerned, Gam Bonu Dibar Hashem. That the Rebbeinu spoke to them were equal. There's no differences, right?
Moshe Rabbeinu went to Har Sinai. Moshe Rabbeinu brought down the Torah.
Yes, so that in Har Sinai we all were that way. But after that, you're normal. You didn't know that he's always on call. In other words, they should go back to their houses, but you're on call. So since they didn't know, so what does the Benishim want from them? So the Benishim wanted them, you're right, you didn't know, but you should have figured it out. That's it. What's the taina? In other words, he says, and it's also, it goes on both things. Avdi b'Moshe. Avdi even if he wouldn't be Moshe. Moshe even if he wouldn't be Avdi. Either way, you screwed up. Okay, so that's the thing open. And he okay. Now, was she actually Tomei? Parshas, she was not Tomei. First of all, the factor was that and I think that's the point of you're supposed to remember. So Sharos Hashem Hakim Miriam Baderach. No, it's noted. The don't try to get away with being a mitzvah. No, the guy had an argument with somebody, right? So the Benishim made tzaras to point out who's the Rosher, who's the guy that's the bad guy, right? Both guys sound good, but the story sounds good on both sides. No, one guy is about Lashon Hara, one guy isn't. So the child is who? So I don't want to be caught being about Lashon Hara, right? So I get the discoloration of the skin, right? So I wear a longer sleeve. That's all. It's covered now. So on my thing, I wear a shirt, whatever it is there. By Miriam, what did he do? He made it top to bottom. Top to bottom, you Torah. Besides, there was no to Mitama, her brother or her nephews. There was no really to Mitama. That's not a day call it. So anyway, that was, so she was the thing there. So she wasn't Tomei. Doesn't say she was Tomei. Now, what did the Rebbeinu do with this? Regardless of the Rebbeinu, he made a very funny thing. That like this, we wouldn't really know how big Miriam was. Miriam was an Avina. Okay, Miriam's an Avina. What's her name? Is an Avina. Tzveicha's an Avina. We have other Avinas, big deal. You know, all the things open there. So it says there, it's not a but by Lachan, it says, V'loinosu Nusa ad Yosef Miriam. He's only moving without Miriam. Now you know how big she is. Now, sometimes you'll say this, that maybe it's not a bad thing that this happened. because Klal Yisrael wouldn't have known how great Miriam is. That Klal Yisrael would wait for her and stuff like that. So therefore, it was important for them to know. Maybe it's important to know. Abafal Pitei comes with an einish. There was a thing there. But you hear from this the godless of Miriam. That's the point. Yeah, good. Good Shabbos, everybody. Machman.
Silverstein, Silverstein, Shmuel.